What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're taking a look at another anime review, and today we're taking a look at an anime that took the world by storm, and basically took me by storm as well, because it is a very good new-gen anime, and it is very similar to Tokyo Revengers, but without all that sort of fantasy time travel stuff. So if you are interested in like gangs and gang fights like Tokyo Revengers, this is a series for you, and it is called Windbreaker. It has 13 episodes in Series 1, which is a little bit of a strange number, I will admit. Normally, most like new animes only do have 12 episodes, but it came out in 2024 and has a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb. So Sakura wants nothing to do with weaklings. He's only interested in being the strongest of the strong. So he basically moves away from his hometown where everyone treated him like shit, and he came to this new place where he believed, like he's going to be the strongest, he's going to be the best, and he wants to be the strongest, and he wants to be the best, and he feels like he deserves it. So he moves, and he feels very strange about this whole new place because obviously everyone treats him with respect, everyone actually likes him, and people actually care for him and aren't scared of him like they were before. And I obviously it gets you in with this like really sad story straight off the bat, with everyone mistreating him, everyone treating him like a piece of shit and an outcast. From a massive change like that, I think that's really cool. I think that's a really good message to have in your first episode. And he basically gets welcomed in with warm arms, and we get introduced to our main cast of characters with the strongest of the strong, with his grey hair leading the school. We have white hair with headphones, and we have brown hair who's got stomach problems. We then continue this trend going forward with all these other characters, with all these wacky hair colours. We have Orange, who's basically a weakling and a scaredy cat who just wants to be his best bud. We then have Ginger, which is a little bit of a lighter orange, who is a musclehead and only cares about his gains and his oath. We then have Purple Hair, who's quite chill, laid back, and personally one of my favourite characters. And we then basically get into the problems with Izuku Midoriya, or his counterpart, who is one of the weaker characters in this universe, gets attacked by a bunch of Yellowcoats, which is a rival school literally over in the next town. So they basically want to settle a scrap. So over the next 5 episodes, each core member from the Windbreaker gang goes up against one of their core members, and obviously the Windbreaker lot win every single one of their match. This school wins every single one and shows the other team who's boss, and they then decide, you know what? Let's be friends, let's be buddies, let's meet up again and fight together one more time. So they do, and they have like a picnic together, and the other team basically reevaluates all their life choices and reevaluates the meaning behind their school and the meaning behind being the strongest. We then have the series ending with them getting ready to fight another rival group, which I do believe has a more of a black and white sort of outfit with a dragon on the back, and it teases season 2, but ends. So there you go, that's how it ends. It's a pretty short story, it's a pretty basic story, nothing too exciting happens, and the best part about this series is the fighting. The animated fights are so incredible, all the scraps are really interesting, and all the fights, like the animation style, how they all fly around, how they fling themselves around, it's not like unrealistic fighting, like normal animes with Dragon Ball Z and My Hero. It's all very realistic and it's all very detailed, but it's also so very beautiful with like how they it's so well choreographed and so clean. I love it so much, and I don't know, I was like hypnotized watching it. This is one of those animes which I watch from start to finish. Again, it does take around like 3.5 hours to watch this, so you can watch it all in one day if you really wanted to, like I did. It is so clean, so beautiful, and so like hypnotic. Like I was constantly watching this, and I could not take my eyes off the screen. It was that good. It was so fucking nice to watch, and I don't know, it's just one, it has that sort of really sort of gripping character style as well, with each character being very interesting, as you can see here. We have each one with a unique hairstyle and colour, so they stand out and look pretty cool. However, I don't get everyone's obsession with the main guys, or Sakura's heterochromia, which is obviously the fancy word for having 2 different coloured eyes. Normally, it's usually like green and blue, or blue and hazel. as our main character here has, and everyone thinks he was cosplaying with his strange hair color. But then, as soon as he gets to the school, we see people with like blue, red, pink, white, orange, purple, a load of array of different other colors as their hairstyles, which genuinely confuses me because if they're picking on this guy and they live in this town, surely they see all the others every day being the guardians of the town. And I guess seeing him try and adapt to this new way of life is also really interesting, but it's not a story point that I really cared for or had too much interest in. It was just kind of a nice one to sort of get to know and get to see, and it just was very heartwarming to see him get treated a lot better than what he used to. I am going to be honest, the character designs are super fucking cool. I like everyone's unique hair color, and it just makes them stand out a little bit more. And this anime is one that does benefit from having these different colored hairstyles because the characters are constantly fighting, constantly clashing. So it does help that they have these very flashy uniforms, especially with like the blacks and the oranges and the whites. They all stand out compared to each other. And then we also have the different colored hairstyles so you can easily track who's who when they're fighting, even when they do ditch their jackets mid-fight. Because sometimes they do that. Sometimes it does get too warm, so you do gotta ditch the jacket. I get it, I understand. But still, it is nice to see and very clearly who's who and who's on whose side. I think that's very core to a series like this, and I think they managed that very well. Story wise, I don't think it's the most interesting anime. We do get to see into most of the characters' backstories when they're fighting, so it does give us a little bit of an insight into these characters. But the more like sort of fights that we had, the more the story sort of revolved around the opposing team, which is the team that I didn't really care about, the team that I didn't really want to win, and that I didn't really have any interest in, like, at all. They're like the rival team. You don't really care for the bad guys, and it just gives you them a sad, sappy backstory, so you feel bad for them when they end up losing. However, it just ends up being a really decent world building thing, showing how everyone's lives have basically intertwined without them realizing, because there is a lot of connected characters here who have had like some past together. So it just helps building the characters and build the world really well for a first season, and it does get you excited, it does intrigue you, it does hook you into this unique sort of circumstance that these characters do find themselves in, where they're sort of the outcasts of everywhere else becoming the celebrities of this one town. It's really unique and a really quite clever concept that I'm very excited to see where they take it in season two, because I think season one was a really strong opener. Ready for season two, I think they can take it all the way, and I'm very excited to see where it goes from here. But other than that, I don't really have much else to say about this anime. Again, the art style is beautiful, and again, very reminiscent of Tokyo Revengers. I do believe it is made by the same people that does make Tokyo Revengers, because the anime art style is very, very similar. And I could not stop making comparisons to Tokyo Revengers throughout this entire show. But again, it is very simple, but it is so well done. Like, it's very simplistic, but it's well done. And that's all that really matters. Like, a new anime doesn't have to have a flashy story, doesn't have to have flashy characters, doesn't have to have like the most intricate, in-depth story. As long as it does what it's trying to do well, I think that makes for a really good anime. And that's why I'm gonna have to give this a solid 9 out of 10, because I think it does what it's trying to do the best that it can. There is still room for improvement. Like I said, it is a quite boring story, but it's just done so well. And the backstory's got quite boring, and especially like with it being 5 episodes, like a good chunk of the series, it was quite repetitive, and that's the only reason I have marked it down 1 point. But for everything else, I think it did pretty well, and I do recommend that you go watch this for yourself, just because it is one of the better new gen animes coming out now, basically. However, that's all I have to say about the anime, so let's quickly get into some self promotion. So, if you do like my content and you do want me to review other animes, TV shows, movies, anything like that, please do leave them down in the comments below, and I'll get on them as soon as possible. Just leave the series name and I'll do it when I get around to it. However, if you do like my content, which I do know most of you do because 98% of you are recurring viewers, you're recurring viewers, you constantly come back for more, but you're not subscribed. And that greatly upsets me. That just, it breaks my heart. And I don't know why you're not pushing that big red button. You don't have to worry. It's completely free. You can always change your mind later. Is the big red button scary? I'm going to be honest. In a study that I saw, most people are very, very, like, prepared to push a big red button. And, you know, I promise it won't explode. Hopefully, maybe. Be very careful when you do push it just in case. But it will turn grey. That is what I can guarantee. It'll go grey, and I guarantee it'll make it a lot cooler and a lot nicer, and just a lot nicer of a homepage to look at. It just, it's just a lot cleaner. It looks a lot less cluttered. But as I will say, if you don't want to stay here on YouTube and do want to branch out elsewhere to maybe TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, if you are a dinosaur, maybe want to go check out some uh, Reddit or Pinterest, some Cameo, maybe even some Twitch. If you're just in the mood for some other type of content, I do have a link in the description, which will take you to everything else that I have to offer as a content creator. But other than that, like I said, there isn't much else that I have to say. There isn't much input that I have for this anime. So I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. I said bye bye. Bye.